Hey, this is Gareth and Bruce. This is our first attempt at a podcast.
We just don't know where it's gonna go. You got more of the gruff voice. I got more of the
softer feminine voice.
screw you. Hey.
I don't know, I felt a little snobby when we hit 10 episodes.
Okay, that's an interesting question.
The two of us can be Vin Diesel. Gareth can drive like him. And I can
You
look
can
like
look
him.
Welcome to Spaghetti Junction. My name is Gareth.
My name is Bruce.
And we talk about things. We just don't know where they're gonna go.
Hello and welcome to the Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Bruce.
My name's Gareth.
And we talk about things.
We just don't know where they're gonna go.
Lots to talk about today.
Quite a lot actually, yes. A lot of what was I going to say? Yeah, I wasn't going to use because I would want to use a swear word.
Yes.
So I'm just going to say it's a huge poop show.
Poop show. There we go. Yes.
Yes. And it's making a stink.
Yes. And smell it here in SA as well. And we're going to...
Well, it's actually made a different stink. I mean, we'll get to it obviously now. But there are countries who want to deal with the poop stink. And there's countries like ours that try and sweep it away.
Yeah.
And when you
for
know,
certain reasons.
When you know it's wet poop, when you try and sweep wet poop away,
just smears,
it
man.
Smears, exactly. And we are the smear nation right now. So yes. Yeah. So we're going to get into the And speaking of smell and stuff, well, I don't really we can call it about smell. But
I think we probably could.
We've been talking about our next episode.
Yes.
Which I've been waiting to do for how long? You know, I said to Bruce, okay, we need to be doing, whatever topic's going to be coming out. Whatever. And part of it, was going to be, eating some stuff that we might not be excited about. And at first, Bruce was like, oh, well, I don't do that. That's going to be all your side. But yeah, if you are slightly queasy around food, and it's not a guarantee that we're going to keep it all in, but it's going to be interesting. It's basically going to be around food and possibly getting squeamish. Yeah. But stick around for another week and you'll find us on that. But that's just a pre-warning.
Oh, anyway.
Yes. So we're doing a little thing now.
Oh yes, we're doing sort of like the each of us are kind of like doing a song of the week now. Yeah,
it's something that we've been listening to in the week. There's that we can say, okay, I really like that.
Yeah,
I do that, but then when I'm finding that I'm, that I'm looping it like over more than once. That's when I know, okay, this is something that that's in my head kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so they're pretty much those kind of songs, and then we'll put the links to the songs to the YouTube videos of the songs that we're talking about. You can like it, love it, we don't care.
Yeah. Okay, so what have you been listening to this week?
Well, I was always going on like one song, but I thought, well, maybe we can do two. I mean, hey. And you'll find that it'll actually be helpful, I think, to a lot of people, because some will like what Bruce listens to and some will like what I listen to, because it's very different.
Yes.
Like night and day. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that I don't like the rock stuff, because I do.
Yeah.
I love it. I like the rock stuff. I love the heavier stuff. But I'm finding that I'm a little bit of a... Not a voyeur. It's not a good word to use.
No.
Oh, that's a bad word to use, isn't it? Oh, sorry. We'll edit that out. No, we won't. Sorry.
Completely the wrong context.
I know. Okay, moving swiftly on. Sorry, I got my words mixed up. I'll never say that again. Anyway, I'm quite how would you say? I'm a connoisseur of...
You have diverse music tastes.
Multiple. There we go. I don't have one stuck. Sticky stuck.
Gareth's all about diversity.
I actually am, yes. That is very true. So there were two that I was listening to. The first one that I was just on loop the whole time. It's our oldest track. I mean, both of these are about a year, maybe 2 years now. No. This one, which is by Lecrae and John Legend, and it's called Drown.
Yes.
I think.
It is.
It is called Drown. Good. Because I'm like, I don't want to... I mean, once we said it, we've said it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's called Drown. And I really like it because John Legend's voice, I'm getting like really into his stuff now. Mm-hmm. So I had this whole like few months where it's like me and Lionel Richie.
Yeah, you had a
Lionel Richie.
serious bromance
dude,
with
Lionel Richie,
yeah.
exactly. So I kind of feel that's possibly where it's going with John Legend. I love his voice. It's very strong. It's very well trained.
He's a great artist.
He's a fantastic artist. You know, and you can see that, hear and see that he works on his voice the whole time. He doesn't just leave it.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then Lecrae, may or may not know him. He's a hip hop dude. He's a rapper. On an album that he released, I think it was last year, it also had multiple artists linked with him, and one of them was John Legend, which I was saying to Bruce, I don't know how he managed to get John Legend. Not that, you know, not that Lecrae's not big, but we have Lecrae, which is big, but then we have John Legend too.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a great mix. I love it. The other one that I listen to a lot, because I love Coldplay. I mean, you know that. I've seen Coldplay live.
Did you see them live?
Yeah, at Soccer City.
Oh, you went when they came here?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Friggin' amazing concert.
I saw...
Like, so good.
I wasn't that into them, and then I saw the DVD of that show, of that tour.
Oh, you watched the DVD of it?
Yeah, I think they performed maybe in France or something for the DVD recording.
Okay.
I was like, oh my word, I just missed out on one of the most incredible experiences.
Look, I didn't know what to expect. You know, I mean, but man, it was good.
Yeah. I heard it's so much more energy than on their albums on that. So I kind of developed a new appreciation for Coldplay, because I didn't really like them.
You didn't like them?
No.
It's a really good.
But I do.
And they did a song on their latest album with Selena Gomez. And sorry, I'm scrolling because this one I do not remember its name.
Let It Go.
Let It Go.
And not from Frozen.
Let Somebody Go. That was actually pretty good.
Go.
Let Somebody Go. And that's with Selena Gomez. I like Selena Gomez stuff. She's not the strongest voice, you know, as to what's around at all. I don't know, but I just like her tone. And I've actually listened to one of her albums straight through. I don't know why I did it, but I did.
Then you've listened to more Selena Gomez than I have.
Yeah, and I don't think if I'll listen to more, but I thought it was a really nice mixture. You didn't like it as much.
Nah.
Okay.
Dig it.
Yeah, exactly. It's different.
The visuals on the video are pretty
It's
cool.
nice, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It reminded me of like a was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie about the dreams? They go into dreams. Inception. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of
Inception feel.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So those are my two.
Okay.
Well, what are yours, champ?
Right. Well, the first band, very loud, raucous rock and roll, as usual.
They were, yes.
A band that one of my students introduced me to, a band called Royal Blood.
Okay.
If you haven't heard Royal Blood, check them out. Think of like a mixture of the White Stripes and Muse. I think it probably...
And the people who don't know that, it's rock, isn't it? Like heavy rock.
It is. It's British. You can hear the British sound come through, and what's really cool is that it's actually just a bass player and a drummer. So the bass player sings and plays all the parts, guitar and bass, on bass guitar, sort of switching between sounds, bringing in the clean bass tone underneath the guitar parts.
Very good.
And then very, very nice solid drummer behind him and stuff. I think it's a great sound. Very, yeah.
And awesome. That's the day or the night part. My stuff is very day, and I mean lighter.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and the song that I was listening to, very big. The song that I was listening to was "Figure It Out," specifically recorded at Lollapalooza, which I don't know what year, but a very nice live recording of them. That's cool.
Nice. And the other one was Bruce Boy.
The other one was on the complete opposite
end
of the
I was
spectrum.
like, this is very opposite, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can say that I've got a fairly diverse...
you actually do.
Yeah.
But it needs to have instruments to yours. Mine don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a little bit more of an organic...
Of course.
But, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. And this is a song called Youngstown off one of his very obscure albums, called The Ghost of Tom Joad, which is my hands down my favorite Bruce Lee. Bruce Springsteen album.
Great. He was great in it too, yes.
It's just an album of amazing storytelling more than anything else.
Yeah.
And talks about old turn of the century America and American industry and blue collar workers, and just I love that kind of thing. So yeah, very cool song. So check it out, Youngstown by Bruce Springsteen.
There we go. So you got hip hop and Coldplay and light acoustic and rock.
That's
It's
it.
fantastic. We'll try and keep this, a little bit shorter next time. We're just trying it out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good, man. And as I mentioned, this laptop is on its way out. So I want to thank HP. I want to thank Dell. I want to thank Apple. I want to thank who are all not a sponsor, but they should be. If you care for me, HP. We were trying Pepsi. They just didn't get back to us, did they?
No, they didn't.
And plus, also, I'm on a health kick, so I'm trying not to drink as much sugar.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing pretty well.
You are doing very, very
For what
well.
I normally do, I'm
Your
like
self-discipline is admirable.
leaps and thank you. Admirable.
Very admirable.
Lovely.
Admirable. It's like saying a general consensus.
Admirable. Exactly. Yes. So, anyways, we're trying another aspect to try and get someone else on the job because
That's
Pepsi didn't work. So we'll try somebody else. Thank you, Bruce. Russia and Ukraine.
Yes. And Russia and Vladimir Putin deciding that he wants this country of Ukraine and has decided to walk in and take it, which is kind of like what we've seen leaders do from time to time over history, and some of them get very far, others don't.
Yeah.
So this is still very early days in this sort of invasion. Let's just call it what it is. It is an invasion. It's not some.
Oh no.
No. But some people have tried to push the terms under the.
Oh, so it
they've
doesn't
sort of
seem
like
as,
they've tried to soften the blow, kind of things. Like,
Yeah.
no, he's invaded another country, and
oh,
that's,
so it's an act of war.
yeah,
that's
exactly,
what it is.
Exactly. No, but I hear some reports where they use different language,
Oh, like
softer
softer.
language. Yes, I'm like, all
You
right,
got to call
whatever.
it what it is. It's an invasion. It's war.
It's an invasion of another democratic country.
Exactly.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to fly. But we'll see, because he seems to be doing quite a bit
Of what?
with moving around in the country, with not a lot of other countries kind of helping Ukraine at the moment. Apart from supplying arms, supplying everything, but we don't see other countries coming into Ukraine to
assist.
yet.
Well, they are being assisting Ukraine, but more with their weaponry and so
Resources.
forth, and resource and
Yeah,
weaponry.
not exactly boots on the ground.
No, because that'll be a whole nother. No,
Poop show.
and by another poop show, yeah, or a poop storm. And by the time that this comes out, things may have changed dramatically. But the way that this is going right now, and when we are recording this, there's no change. As in like Russia is getting actually more intense, and is causing a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading that that I think it was yesterday. Okay, when we were doing this, so previous, he actually he didn't, but his army shelled a maternity hospital, which they say is oops. But this is the problem: is that it's happening more and more that they are hitting civilian areas where they say that that's not what they're doing, and this is the problem, that the more that are coming in, the more civilians are dying, a lot more than what he says, because obviously Russia will always make things seem a little bit less than what it is, but reports on the ground say it's like every day is actually getting worse and worse for civilians.
Yeah, and they haven't. I don't think the Russian forces have quite yet reached Kiev, the capital.
No, from when we are recording this, no.
But they are still getting. They're getting close.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
And once the capital falls.
Yeah.
I don't know, eh?
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, with Russia being as powerful as it is, I know the Ukrainians are putting up a fight.
Yes.
And I know to a certain
very
extent,
much
the Russian military, I think, kind of got a bit of a fright.
They did.
I don't think they were expecting quite the.
No.
Look, Ukraine didn't. They weren't obviously able to prevent them coming across the border, but once they were in the country, they took the fight to the Russians. But I don't know. That Russian war machine
It's just overpowering.
It's massive.
Yeah.
12,000. I mean, just 12,000 tanks. I don't know all the stats of what Russia has, but I know they do have 12,000 tanks.
12,000.
I think they're only using like 1,000 at the moment, or something.
Okay, but
So
it's
the resources that they've got in reserve, it's scary how big that army is, and I think if he turned it up to the full might, he'll just walk in and Ukraine will become part of Russia.
Yeah, that's what he's wanting.
Like that.
But as you say, there's a fight going on. I mean, the Ukrainian president, from what I've been watching, he's pretty much, I would say, I mean, I don't know if you can use the word legend, but he's incredible in the sense where he doesn't, he's not leaving Ukraine.
No.
And he has, he has made this whole thing, about the people, about himself, about the country, and saying, if you do want to stand up and fight, let's go forward with it. Yeah, he's a very powerful guy. Yeah, and he doesn't come across as this, like he runs the country, and he's this big macho guy, like a Putin. Putin who rides on horses with his shirt off. It's completely different character, and I think, as you say, that the Russian army didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And there was actually, and again, this is just before we recorded. I don't know the numbers right now, but there was a lot of Roman soldiers. Wow, going back in time, people, a lot of Russian soldiers who actually, who handed themselves, over to the Ukrainians, because they were like, this is. And there's also a huge amount in the Russian army that are young people that don't even know what they're fighting for. And because it gets to a point where they've, where there is a lack of food, a lack of water, and they don't know why they're even fighting this fight, a lot of them have actually said, what?
Forget it.
I can't. I'm done. So I think that'll happen more and more.
Yeah.
I still want to believe that Ukraine will still hold back Russia. But the question is, what are the Ukrainian people going to come back to?
Yeah, it's also true.
They've demolished. And last track, there were roughly 2 or 2.5 million refugees that had crossed the borders into surrounding countries.
Yeah.
And it's the worst refugee crisis since World War II.
Yeah, and it's the first European invasion since World War II, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, things didn't work out too well back then.
Yeah.
But then, back then you did have the Western world who did stand up and say no, and didn't negotiate. They walked in and they stopped it. This time around, I don't know. The West seems to be very...
Well, the problem, though, is if the West gets involved,
it's
boots on the ground, it's going to turn into a massive war.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say World War III, but it's going to be...
It's going to be a major conflict.
It'll be huge.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're trying to make... They're trying to
avoid it.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. I mean, there are, multiple sanctions, on Russia, on their banking system, on the companies. There's been multiple companies who are invested into Ukraine. Like MasterCard and Visa are out of there.
Yeah.
I think there's a car dealership. There's fast food places like a McDonald's and etc. So there's a lot of companies that are pulling out until Russia gets the message that they must stop. But Putin's very, very, very hard-headed, and I don't. Even though there are massive sanctions now, I still don't think he's going to care.
Well, they've got plans for other economic, ways of doing things. They've got massive gold reserves. I don't think these sanctions are going to hit Russia as hard as what we think they're going to.
Yeah.
Putin's, love him or hate him, he's not stupid, and there are things in place. He knew that the West was going to put sanctions on him.
Yeah.
Because that's all they pretty much can do at this stage.
Yeah.
And he had plans in place.
Of course.
He's clever. He's ex-KGB. The guy's, I don't know. I don't want to know how many bodies he's personally buried. He's cold and he's calculating. And
even to the point where he's put youngsters in the army with giving them no real hope whatsoever. Well, I guess you can't really do that in war. But the point that he's put young people into his army without really telling them much, those are bodies which I feel that he is also burying.
Yeah. So now we go on to the main meat and talk about South Africa's role in all of this and South Africa's decision to not vote to condemn Russia's actions.
Yes. Sometimes we go into a topic, with like no dog in the fight, if that makes sense. Like in the middle grounds. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely not like good or bad. I 100%. My view completely is that South African government are spineless jellyfish.
Well, I think
all the jellyfish don't have spines, so that's really spineless.
Well, and we can talk about the history that our ANC government has with Russia.
Yeah.
And yes, they say they want to remain neutral. I'm sorry, but by abstaining, they've picked a side, and they've picked Team Russia, as far as I'm concerned. If you're not condemning it outright, then it's not like if you're not for us, you're against us kind
Correct.
of vibe. So, and even Cyril Ramaphosa, he said, let's talk about mediation. He didn't talk about get your troops out of Ukraine. So it's like, well, what does that message say? And if you think about how Russia did help the African National Congress throughout the apartheid era, then obviously they're not going to poke the bear.
Let me break down a few of us. Yeah, but I'm sorry, there's just no spine.
No, absolutely not.
It's only one of, I think, 4 or 5 countries that did not put a vote, that didn't, have their say as in the, I think it was in the United Nations, there was I think, and I might be wrong, but there's a big meeting with, with like every major country.
Well,
and they all basically were saying, well, almost all of them said, yeah, we are we condemn what's happening in Ukraine. There's about 4 or 5 countries, and I won't get them all, but there was China, there was India.
They sort of voted for.
I think there are more than that, and I'm sorry I don't have them exactly down because my laptop, and I'm using paper. That's why I'm not a sponsor. HP can get through. But there was only like 3 or 4 countries that didn't want to rock the boat, so to speak. That they said no, that they basically abstained their votes.
Well, according to the information that I found, there were 35 countries that abstained.
It seems too much.
And quite a few, and South Africa was one of them.
35? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Seems way more than what I know of it.
Yeah, there was a smaller amount of countries who voted specifically to not condemn the actions of Russia, and then all the other countries that voted to condemn. But then
no, because what I remember is that, for example, South Africa, they didn't make a vote at all.
Yeah.
So they didn't say we don't condemn. They just said we're not saying anything.
We're saying we're not for or against.
Yes,
but by abstaining,
it means that you don't condemn it. Yeah.
Exactly. So so that's the problem. And I think even on and it was very interesting on the 28th of February, the Russian government. I don't know if you saw their Twitter post that they
I've
put
got it
out.
on here as well.
Cool.
We seem to be doing the same stuff. Carry on.
Yeah, so that was, they say today marks 30 years since the establishment of diplomatic relations between Russia and South Africa. Our interaction is distinguished by the strong bonds of friendship and cooperation established during the struggle against apartheid, which continued to
Yeah,
develop
they're
today.
using that so well.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about the anti-apartheid stuff. I don't think.
No.
I think it was all for what Russia could get out of it, and the fact that they're bringing in this back in the history because they know that, like, you know, that they're going to pull back on, you know, that they're going to. It's basically just a ploy.
Yeah.
Because we did this for you, well, obviously you're not going to do anything to us.
No.
My problem is that when Jacob Zuma, of course he's not the main politician anymore, but something he said once where he said that Vladimir Putin is a man of peace. And President Cyril Ramaphosa, which is our president now, says the West is not doing enough to support a peaceful resolution to the conflict.
I honestly, with this kind of thing, you know, I don't know if you'd get a peaceful resolution, you know.
They are trying to have talks, but what I'm taking from Ramaphosa's thing, he's just playing it safe. He's not doing what most of the countries in the world are doing.
Yeah.
Like saying, no, this is wrong. He's not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
He's blaming, he basically blamed other countries. He's blaming the West that they haven't found a peaceful option.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's the West's fault. That's what he does. Therefore, he doesn't have to say anything because it's not his fault.
Yeah.
And when you blame somebody else, then he's hoping that the spotlight will move from him onto the West, which actually...
Yeah. I honestly, I don't feel that... Yes, okay, South Africa not making a stand or abstaining, whatever. You know, it's not a good position to take. But,
no, the world looks at us like,
you know,
you guys have got problems.
But I also don't know if those massive countries probably even care. I don't think they...
Well, we are the powerhouse of Africa, though.
Yeah, but we're still so small. And Russia, China, they will look at us and go, please, what are you? You know,
yeah, but still,
that's
the
the
point that we didn't even make a stand, that is noticeable.
Yeah.
No matter how small we are in their eyes, we're probably the powerhouse of a whole continent.
Yeah, well, it makes us look weak.
So there are ripples there. I know what you're saying, but because we still have that stance and that power that can actually do something, that can actually... I know we're small and it's not going to make a huge point, but the fact that we didn't do anything at the United Nations, it shows.
Yeah.
It shows the rest of the world what we stand for.
Yeah. It's basically just weakness. And
Yes.
you're like, oh, really? Okay, that's where you go. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
cool.
And you were mentioning that tweet, okay? In a tweet as well, I think it might have been the same one or it might have been a secondary one, but over last weekend, the Russian embassy in South Africa, okay, they thanked our country for its support in standing with them as they battle Nazism in Ukraine. So they've upped their game from that. Now they're calling it, and it's not the first time that that's been used.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I did hear about that as
Putin
well.
is trying to use that as to have a reason to why he's doing what he is doing,
Yeah.
you know, in Ukraine, because you know that there's a Nazism in Ukraine, which obviously is not true.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's that you know, that kind of conversation going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, seeing as we're talking about locals stuff, hold on, guys, sorry. You won't really see it very well because it's printed out, but it's basically an invitation that was sent out to Ramaphosa and all his buddies that says, His Excellency Ambassador of the Russian Federation to the Republic of South Africa and the Kingdom of Lesotho. And I'm not going to get this right because I can't read it properly, but it's Mr. Ilya Rogachev and Russian Defense Attaché Colonel Dmitry Primatruk request the pleasure of the company of them at a cocktail reception on the occasion of what? The Russian Motherland Defenders Day. They actually had an event, and our parliamentarians went to this event. And this was on the 24th of February.
Yeah.
And they all rocked up to this special event.
Yeah.
Because obviously if it's, you know, if we're not going to be, you know, if we don't go, then, you know, we're going to look bad towards them, and then we're going to, I mean, it's
all political face saving and that kind of thing. And Yeah, I think they're holding on to that. They're holding on to that historical connection. And
Well, it's more than it almost feels like a guilt trip. It's not a historical thing anymore.
oh yeah,
It's a guilt trip
yeah,
by Russia.
Yeah.
They're saying, which they did very well wording in that tweet you mentioned. It's pretty much saying, well, we did this for you.
yes.
And we somehow
Just
managed.
reminding you, listen,
Yeah.
don't forget about what we did for you.
And I don't
so-
think that they actually helped hugely change the course of anti-apartheid and of apartheid.
Apartheid.
But yeah, they're using it as a guilt tool, not because they give a shit. They say, okay, yeah, we did this for you.
Yeah.
I'm interested to actually see or to research as to how much what of an impact actually Russia did do, because I don't think they were. I don't know, so
Well, it was-
I'm not going to say it.
It was Russia helped the ANC financially and also then with military training of Mkhonto Sizwe,
Okay.
which was the armed wing.
Yes, that's right.
Either they brought, I don't know the details, either they brought Russians in to South Africa to train them, or they sent higher up leaders of Mkhonto Sizwe to Russia. I don't know all the details, so don't come at me.
Okay, but it was Russian.
But,
so that's where they
so it
were
was basically
involved.
helped out financially and militarily with training.
Okay.
So yeah, and obviously the finances would probably buy weapons and that kind of
I
thing.
learned something. No, that's very, very cool.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to trade, okay, between us and Russia, okay, because this is now another reason why they're wondering, well, should we say that that's what Russia's doing is wrong, because maybe we're going to lose, and that's what a lot of the other countries that have abstained have the same thing going on. So this is when it comes to trade, okay, between the two nations, okay. Russia, okay, so this is in 2021, so last year, in a year, Russia imported 1.3 billion worth of products from South Africa, and so Russia imported 1.3 billion worth of products from South Africa and exported products much less, to the value of 458 million. And this is peanuts, though. In comparative terms, Russia does not even warrant a spot, though, on the list of South Africa's top 14 trading partners, which is headed by China, US, Germany, and the UK. So pretty much they're a drop in the bucket. And even though they're a drop in the bucket, we're still scrabbling away, saying, no.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose you friendships, and it's bullshit.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I think the South African government, I think the ANC they're way in, they're too in this mindset of like, no, let's just sit and talk about this, and let's find if we can make a amicable solution, and where there must be mediation, let's find a diplomatic solution and all of that, instead of like, no.
Yeah, no, I don't even think, I don't even know if they even want to find this mediation. I just, not, maybe they do.
Yeah, maybe it's just lip service.
But it's just a nicer way than saying, we are happy, we are friends with Russia.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's a cop out.
Yeah.
Either this war is wrong, or both countries are having beef, and it's both countries' faults. While Ukraine didn't invade Russia,
No.
Russia invaded Ukraine, unwarranted, uncalled for. So you can't just, let's just, because the main countries in the world did not say, well, we're not going to abstain, but we're not going to say it's wrong, because let's just have a peaceful. Obviously, people want a peaceful resolution. Right now, that's gone.
Yeah.
Either say it's right or it's wrong.
Yeah.
Put on your big boys' pants.
Exactly. And back in 1944, that's what happened. They stood up and went no, and actually put boots on the ground and stopped the tyrant. Whereas, I don't know, if we look at the West and how it reacts to this and doesn't do much with regards to literally putting boots on the ground or even putting rounds down range.
Yeah.
China's sitting back and going, okay, we're going to watch how you react.
Because it's business, man.
And then if China sees that the West doesn't do anything because of this, Taiwan is next, and China's going to say, well, what are you going to do? We're going to take Taiwan.
Well,
what are
that's
you
a
going
bit
to do?
far-fetched.
Well, they want Taiwan. China wants
Yeah, I
Taiwan.
don't know
and
if it'll go that far.
well, they've been wanting it for years. So, and I think China's just sitting back and watching this whole show and going, okay, let's see how the West reacts. And so, and Russia and China are very friendly. So
Well, that's why there's nothing happening with them.
Yeah.
But my point also, what I was just saying is that the trade, with Russia is a drop. Is like, well, what did it say? Sorry. Anyways, it was just saying that like Russia, in terms of all the other people, which were importing and exporting in our country, is minor. So if it's that minor, then who cares?
Yeah.
Just say it's wrong.
But it's all about it's the politics and it's the diplomacy, and it's the walking on eggshells,
So going on this whole thing, there was a statement in late last month, which the Russian Foreign Ministry took care to remind Pretoria, South Africa, pretty much, of the support given by the former USSR to the anti-apartheid struggle, which is what we're saying. Now, this is what Russia has said. Let's underline that for a long time, the USSR remained the only major state that fundamentally refused contacts with the criminal apartheid regime. Can you not say it more? And then an editor of the Sunday Times, Tembiso Msomi, he wrote in the latest edition of the paper that the gratitude many older South Africans feel for this historical assistance should not be underestimated. This is what he wrote. To this day, you will find veterans of the 1980s struggle who get emotional and nostalgic when they sing. This is a song that they sing. Soviet people, lovely people, here we are far from home. We will miss you. We shall love you for the things you've done for us.
There you go.
And that's deep rooted, and it's still, I feel it was big, and it was, absolutely, of what they did to assist, to really sort out, the apartheid going on. But that was back then. And it happened.
Yeah, it's like that was then, this is now.
And because you helped us in a minor, and in a certain way, doesn't mean that that we're going to give you the right to take over a country using lethal tactics, which is war.
Yeah. So, watch the space. I think we will be, because this is far from over.
This is far from over.
So
I just pray that there's going to be. I know the resolutions are difficult. They've had at least 2 sets of talks, and they both haven't gone right because both sides want certain things, and Russia actually wants very specific things from Ukraine. That's just which Ukraine just won't do because it's not fair.
Yeah.
Talks should be equal and should be fair for both. But obviously, I don't think you'll get that with Putin.
Well, let's see how we go.
Show.
Well, I don't really have anything more to add on that.
I've got a few, but I think we've done it properly.
I think we've done.
I
was a good chat.
I think we have had our say, and
Interesting. Yeah.
bottom line is South African government. I mean, just sort yourself out. Stop being. Can I use the word little bitches? I just did.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That's pretty much what it sounds like underneath Russia. With a leash and collar on South Africa.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they're doing to us.
Leading us around by
Just leading
noses.
us around.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'll do what you do.
Yeah.
Can I have a treat from you sometime?
Oh, but we've seen this in history so often. It's not. It's actually nothing new.
No, it's not. It's just sad that it's in our friggin' in Africa. Anyway, so our country. Much as we love it, this is just something that is just completely wrong.
Yeah. Anyway. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share, engage with us in the comments. Tell us what you think. And
if you have any topics, we actually got one from a listener, which I'll share with you.
Oh, cool.
That's a really cool one.
Awesome.
So keep on your involvement with us, and we're on. Looking for some more subscribers if you'd like. Add on 1 or 2.
Awesome.
But we love you all.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.